John Lennon. Biography with historical details and achievements. Early life and youth, 1940 to 1957. John Winston Lennon was born on October 9, 1940, in Liverpool, England, during a Luftwaffe bombing raid in World War II. The son of Alfred Lennon and Julia Stanley, he grew up in a troubled family environment. His parents separated when he was young, and he was primarily raised by his Aunt Mimi Smith. From an early age, he showed an interest in music and art, influenced by skiffle and rock and roll artists like Elvis Presley and Chuck Berry. Formation of the Beatles, 1957 to 1962. In 1957, Lennon formed the band The Quarrymen, which later evolved into the Beatles. At a church in Liverpool, he met Paul McCartney, who joined the band, followed by George Harrison in 1958. With the addition of Ringo Starr in 1962, the classic lineup of the Beatles was complete. Under the management of Brian Epstein and producer George Martin, the band began gaining popularity in Liverpool and Hamburg's club circuits. Global success with the Beatles, 1963 to 1970. The Beatles achieved international fame in 1963 with their first album, Please Please Me, and their success was solidified with Beatlemania. Lennon was a central creative force in the band, co-writing most of the songs with McCartney. Some of Lennon's greatest hits with the Beatles include Help, Strawberry Fields Forever, All You Need Is Love, and Come Together. The band revolutionized popular music with innovative albums like Rubber Soul, 1965, Revolver, 1966, and Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, 1967. Activism and personal life, 1966 to 1970. In the late 1960s, Lennon became involved in political and social activism. Alongside his second wife, Yoko Ono, whom he met in 1966, he campaigned for peace, including the famous Bed-ins for Peace in 1969. He also returned as member of the British Empire, MB, Medal in protest of the UK's support for the Vietnam War. In 1969, he formed the Plastic Ono Band and released the single Give Peace a Chance, which became an anthem for the peace movement. Solo career, 1970 to 1980. After the Beatles disbanded in 1970, Lennon embarked on a successful solo career. His album John Lennon / Plastic Ono Band, 1970, was acclaimed for its emotional honesty. In 1971, he released Imagine, whose title track became one of the most iconic songs in history. Other notable albums include Mind Games, 1973, and Double Fantasy, 1980, the latter released shortly before his death. Assassination and Legacy, 1980. On December 8, 1980, John Lennon was assassinated by Mark David Chapman outside the Dakota Building, his residence in New York City. His death shocked the world and marked the end of an era. Lennon left a lasting legacy as a musician, songwriter, and activist. His message of peace, love, and social justice continues to inspire generations. Achievements and recognition. Founding member of the Beatles, the most influential band in music history. Writer of iconic songs like Imagine, Strawberry Fields Forever, and All You Need Is Love. Activist for peace and human rights. Inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame twice, as a member of the Beatles and as a solo artist. His album Imagine is considered one of the greatest of all time. John Lennon remains a symbol of creativity, rebellion, and hope, whose music and message continue to resonate worldwide.